Lead scores are an extremely powerful tool for content personalization, and using lead scores in Logic Hop is really easy. We have a page here, which is our lead scores demo page. I'm going to go ahead and click Edit, and we're going to take a look at this. I'm also going to jump into our conditions and see we've got a condition already created here. And this is a really simple condition. It's, is the visitor's lead score greater than 3? And you can see from the condition builder, we just select lead score, and then we use the greater than. We've got a couple of different options: less than, greater than equal to, greater than 3. On the page itself, you can see that we're saying if the condition lead score is greater than 3, we're displaying your lead score is greater than 3. If it's not, your lead score is less than 4. Very simple, straightforward conditional logic here using our logic tags. The other thing that we're doing is we're displaying the lead score variable, but you can see when we were actually on our page, there was no lead score. And that is by default, if a lead score has not been set, that variable does not exist. So one thing we can do for that is when we add our lead score variable, if we're going to be displaying it, a lot of times you would never display lead score for an individual, but just for our reference here is I can come in and I can choose lead score, and then I can give it a default value. So that would be if you wanted to see what that default value is. I can just use our pipe character here and say default. I'm just going to use all caps and say not set. So I'm going to update this, and we'll take a look at the page. And if I come here and click preview, we can see your lead score is not set. If I use the preview tool, I can turn on our two conditions. So this is if it's greater than 3, it will say your lead score is greater than 3. And then else is your lead score is less than 4. And again, we can change that variable, not set, to, let's say, 24. I'm going to go back to our edit page, and we'll notice that we actually don't have a lead score set at this point. So if you look in the Logic Hop palette, we can come down here, and these are our items where we have Logic Hop lead score, is that we can increment this on every view. We can increment it on the first view only, increment it on the first view each session, where we can set this as a lead score. So increment on every view, that just means every time the page is loaded, we're going to increment that. And that's what we're going to do in this instance. But I'll show you what the other views options do is only on the first view. So it will remember that user, and then we'll only set their lead score once. So it will +1. Increment on the first view each session. That means every time they come to the site with a new session, it'll increment that lead score. And then set as lead score deletes the current lead score and sets this as the new value for the lead score. So this would be a great way if you wanted to reset the lead score to be 0. The other thing you can do is also you can do negative lead scores as well. If you had somebody go to a page where they were at a complaints page on a site, you could mark them down and say that that person is probably less interested in our product. So, or our offering. Let's say we've got that set to increment on every view, and go ahead and click update. And now if I view this page, I'm just going to open this up in a new window, and then that's one view. Your lead score is 1. Reload the page to increase your lead by 1. So I'm going to click this. Now it's 2. Now it's 3. And this is when that conditional magic happens here. So I reload it a 4th time. There we go. Your lead score is 4. Your lead score is greater than 3. So really just a fun way that you can see how this works. And this is a really cool tool that you can start to use this for anything that you want. The lead score you could use for gamification if you wanted to make simple games where people did like a scavenger hunt through your site, or you wanted to remember if the person viewed products, or be able to mark things up and down and then show their content based on like progress through a course or what have you. So really a fun way and a powerful way to add personalization. And remember, just like any of our conditions, we can always come in and add more conditions. So we could say if the lead score is greater than 3 and the current page is, let's say you had an FAQ page, so you could really start to message people and be like, hey, you know, here's a coupon. If your lead score is 10 and you're on our FAQ page, maybe they're kind of wavering or hesitant about buying something. So there's a number of ways you can use lead scores, but you can see it's really easy to implement and get started with Logic Hop in terms of working with lead scores. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, let us know.